Okay, everybody, thank you for subscribing to our Patreon. I know we're a little bit late on doing this commentary video, but this is the first time we've done it. It took a while to set up all this stuff and to finally get moved in and ready to film this. We've also been sick the last week, like really sick. You can still hear it in my voice. But we're going to watch with you guys right now. The video you requested from the Ghosts of Greece series was somebody in this scary abandoned Nazi bunker with us. So, without further ado, Peyton, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everyone.
How are you feeling?
Good. How are you?
Good. I got my Topo Chico lime, courtesy of my parents, because I just raided their fridge. And yeah, without further ado, we're just going to start watching this. And thanks again for subscribing to the Patreon, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Wait, so how are we laying this out?
I'm just going to press play with the audio low. And then just going to overlay this on the corner of the video like they said. People wanted that.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, without further ado, let's watch this, people. Time to get spooky.
Hello, is there somebody in the bunker?
That was a very creepy place.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that moment was just like
Well,
insane.
I remember running and like Jeff, I was trying to squeeze past Jeff.
Yeah, and I was in the back like, shit, man. Well, because I was in the front, and then I went from the front to the back of the group really quickly.
Thank you for taking the time to watch
And
our video.
oftentimes that,
sometimes we start our videos with a warning. But
wow,
for
look at my
today's
hair, it looks
video,
very different.
This is some really dark history that we're covering,
Looks
and
cute.
there are some extremely intense moments in this
Thank
episode.
you.
So,
Looks
this is just
cute
a
now.
warning. If
Thank
don't
you.
want to hear about this stuff,
Even
which
with my
triggers
sniffles.
easily,
Yes.
then I would advise you to not watch this in the fight that we were getting.
So yeah, I mean, this whole episode, it's
But
very
thank you all
personal
so
to
much
us
for supporting the
because
channel.
it really
Even I do.
exemplifies
We have
the
so
fight
many
for
amazing episodes coming,
preservation
and,
of history,
so you
like
guys
we,
have helped make this possible for us. So
we
thank
like to
you
say
from
on the
bottom of
channel.
my
That's
heart.
what we do, is we fight to preserve history and for the preservation
Enjoy
and
the video.
acknowledgement
It's
of
pretty scary. This
these
is
massacre
really
grounds or these
really
places
intense,
that
and
are being
obviously
lost to
all
time.
So
Oops.
sit back, grab the popcorn,
Oops.
crack a drink open, and enjoy the
Is your blood
episode.
sugar okay?
Yeah, like I said right there,
The
pop
largest
some
and most
popcorn.
populous Greek island.
pop a
It's the
drink.
second most
There you
southernmost
go.
point in all of Europe. Crete's landscape is made
So
up of
funnily enough,
mountains,
these drone
famous
shots right here
beaches, and small
are
private
taken
villages. The first
right
human
above our
settlement
rental
was
home.
130,000 years
In
ago.
Crete, my
It has
dad,
been home to many
Jeff,
different
rented a place that was
civilizations,
just
mysterious
way
and
off the
elusive
beaten
knowledge.
path for some reason. It
Crete has
ended
seen
up,
its fair share of
you can
brutal
see,
history
this is
from all
actually,
sorts of societies.
Oh, there it is.
there's the house right there.
Which included the
The
Ottoman
path
Turks,
leading up to the
Romans,
house.
and
But as you can see, it's like, it's out there.
However,
It's
what
down
people
like a
don't understand
dirt
is that it
road.
was here in
It's not like
Crete
a
some of the most
true
brutal
vacation
acts
house. It actually took like such a long time
We're
to
going
get to the
explore all that
property.
history
Down like, yeah,
today.
dirt road, really bumpy.
And like no cell service, so we didn't know exactly where it was. We had to like find it by an actual map. And it was really far away from all the stuff that you actually do on Crete, so it ended up being more of a hindrance. And I know, oh, it was still a
So this
vacation
whole
house in
area
Greece.
of
I'm
Gianna,
only bitching about the fact that like he booked one of the hardest to get to places on the island, I'm pretty sure, which was funny.
Brutal killings in this entire Battle of Crete, German occupation.
Oh my god, I was
conflict.
so tired.
It's commonly called
Yeah, I can see that.
Gianna's
I'm like,
Holocaust.
I really wanted to go to that museum,
And it was
but
basically a
the whole trip we were just
retaliatory
like place to
strike
place
by
to
the
place,
Germans
rushing the
against
whole time.
Crete, natives
And obviously this
who
history is
revolted against them when
really
they landed
sad.
and tried to assert their dominance, and
The,
it led to the deaths of
The whole
over
Holocaust
500
of
different,
Vianos.
villagers,
And
some
this
who had no
monument was
escape
super
from the
haunting.
war,
Yeah.
who didn't fight, they were just killed for simply existing here. So, very sad story, but we're here at the memorial.
That drive was
It's a beautiful
terrifying.
area.
Yeah. That monument was actually on the way to a place that I'm still trying to decide if we're going to post it on the Patreon or on the channel, but we were driving to an entire abandoned city on Crete.
Ah, yes.
And that's still an episode that we have. I don't know if we're going to post that when we finish the Grease series. We've still got a video or two left in that after Halloween. Or just put it on here for you guys. But we drove like literally on switchback turns on the side of a mountain
terrifying.
Like Peyton and Tessa multiple times were like, pull the car over, no! Like you guys
It's a
wanted to
cliff.
leave because we're on the cliff. Obviously Jeff's driving. He's can be a bit sketchy at times while driving. I love him to death, but we've had our moments. But he did a good job. He drove us safely. And these monuments right here, you know,
Look at all these names. It makes quite a
haunting to
statement.
see.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of these figurines is filled with the names of those people who died.
Crazy that we were standing there just 2 months
It's here
ago.
on a hill in
Feels like a
Canyon
year
Creek,
ago.
where the story of
Oh,
crazy
there's a
Bobby
funny
Jones
story
lives.
behind
This
this
beautiful cemetery,
little
which
bit.
one could easily mistake
When you
for a
see the
Allied
drone
cemetery,
shots
is filled
of
with
this
none
cemetery,
Nazi troopers.
I was flying the
The Battle of
drone,
Crete was a turning point in
and
World War
as
II.
you can see in these shots, like look right there, the wind is blowing in the trees. Like it doesn't look that strong, but like look at that. We're on top of like a miniature mountain, right by the sea. Yeah, that tree's going ham. You can see. But so when I was flying the drone, it was going well, and then I decided to get a shot kind of a bit higher of the cemetery, and like I flew it up, and the moment that it hit this certain level of altitude, the drone just went to the side, gone, and I'm like freaking out, like holy shit, because all I can see is the actual screen of what the drone's. Look at that tree right there. All I can see is what the drone is seeing, and the drone is just like, and it just disappears, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, there it goes, holy shit, and I'm like, I'm gonna lose my drone, and it literally disappeared over the side of, you can see right behind me, that tree line, the drone disappeared out of sight behind that tree line, and I'm like, dude, there it goes everything. But luckily, the drone that I have has a feature return to home. So I just flicked that feature up, and I was doing it. It wasn't connecting, and then it like right here's the drone shot right before it took off. Actually, when you can see it's going up, and then it zooted to the left. But I hit that feature, and all of a sudden it was like coming. It was right here actually. Yeah, I was going forward, and this is right where I lost it. Where I go over this hill, and you can see it cuts.
And a respectful place of rest, which is admirable.
Right there, and that's where it kept going and going, and I'm like, oh, I'm not in control of this anymore. But I hit the return to home, and then it zoomed up, and then came back over and landed right in front of me, and I'm like, okay, not trying that again. And that was freaking you, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I thought it was coming.
Overlooking the beach.
Well, what did this whole cemetery seem like to you? Give me some of your thoughts. I don't want to be the one talking this whole time.
At
In
least.
Moline is because
Got some
right down
long
here on the
stories.
airfield, you can actually show it to them. You can zoom
I mean,
in
it
on
was
that
really pretty. It was a great
How
view.
fun you can see it.
I mean,
And I was
That
actually
is where
surprised that
all
there
of the
were a fair
German
amount of people there.
paratroopers landed during the
I was
initial
surprised by the amount of people there too. I
invasion.
thought there would not be anybody there. There was a lot of people.
But they would parachute in.
I mean, like, what does the history
and a
make
lot
you
of them
feel
obviously
like?
died
Just seeing that,
initially,
what
and
was it
there's a
like
lot
in
of
person?
fighting in this area. The biggest battles are fought
I
around here.
mean,
But
I never really knew that much
here we are.
about
It's a bizarre piece of history
Crete's
here in
involvement
Crete,
in
but
World War
we're here
II
to see it
and the
tell
scale of
story.
it. You know, so it was just kind of
After seeing where
eye-opening.
the Nazis were buried on Crete, we headed back
Remember
home
the
to see the last remaining memorial
Yes.
cicada
erected during their
grave that we,
right outside of Chania.
right before we
Largest
went,
cities
in
the
between leaving the cemetery and going here, we went to a ancient passage grave from the Minoan culture
Say hello.
that is still coming.
Where are we?
We are in Crete.
Yep. So right now,
We are
We're in
in Crete.
This place was one of the most interesting things to me, you know, to back in a literal, just like industrial area.
Yeah.
how you doing? Me? Yep. Like this. Hey everybody, we're making our way.
Oh,
up.
great shot.
Oh, there are bones.
Remember that dog that was like, I thought the dog that was right there, and Jeff was freaking out.
He was like, "Don't go by the dog."
Don't go by the dog. But then in that city on Crete, there was a dog that was snarling at us. That was on chain. You remember that? That was scary. And that's in the footage.
However
But
you say it. And right behind us is actually a really interesting piece of the Battle of Crete German occupation story. If you look behind Kate and I right here,
what?
This is the Falkenjäger
Just the
Monument.
shot.
Locals call this
What do you
thing
mean?
the
They're
evil
funny.
bird because back in the day,
My hair's,
when it
like,
was removed,
wild,
it used to be a
bro.
gigantic, bird
That photo is so
with
low
a
res,
crest
too.
and swastika flying downwards.
Like
I think
4
it was,
P.
like we said, an eagle.
That would've been
This
crazy to see,
monument was
though,
created
if
by the
that eagle was
Nazis
still up
after
there.
they gained complete control over Crete. It served as a menacing spectacle.
I like all the
People who lived
splatters on
around
it.
here would look
You're
up
like
every
throwing
day,
shit
and
at
it used
it.
to just be a hill. And
Nope.
you'd see this monument to Nazi Germany. And like I said on top, it used
I
to
mean,
be
like,
huge,
I don't want to be
metal
insensitive and say I'm glad that it's still standing, but I mean, I am glad that it's still there because it's like just a piece of history that's just like insane, you know? Like, not glad because they left a
Yeah,
Nazi
glad's
thing.
a- oh my
That's
Lord.
not what I'm trying to say here, folks. I'm just.
I mean,
everything, but
They should just
this is the
put a
only
plaque
remaining
in
piece
front of
Nazi
it,
Germany
you know, detailing
still
it.
here, and it has
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
exactly
like interesting for our video to be
found
able to
behind the
capture
auto repair
this
shop.
piece of
Most
history
people
that's
don't
just
know
like
it exists.
there, that they haven't officially like done anything to or recognized. It's just like sitting there, which I mean you would not find in like obviously Germany or Poland or any of those places. That stuff has been either highly sanitized with the like government turned to a museum or just demolished totally.
Nazi I've ever seen. That's last. I don't know.
Those glasses.
Five. Let's just say
I
that.
always make fun of him for those glasses. I love
Bizarre,
them.
and it's weird how they've thrown stuff at the actual monument.
Mary's got some funky shades on too.
Well, why do they leave?
I mean, you can't roast Mary. But Jeff,
Those fogs, you could easily take it down. You know,
look at those things.
So reflective.
Very reflective.
Seafoam.
Let's walk up. Okay, Peyton's got a translator app.
God, Starbucks as always. Evening Grease. We got our Starbucks. Sorry guys, I'm a little sick still.
Take a picture of that. Or pause it.
You dead, please.
Yeah, it's not.
Italian Storm Regiment.
You dead the
did.
jank.
You dead? Yeah, it's something
That
about
translator
dying,
app
like
needs
in
some work.
service to the country. It's just weird that it's still standing.
Well, a lot of the words are like busted out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's continue on the trail. You know the Nazis probably built this stone too. Oh yeah, for sure. You know? Oh, of course they did. But we're walking.
Of course they did. He's like, oh yeah, of course.
Of course they did, yeah. I knew that.
Yeah, prisoners for sure.
After seeing the Nazis' memorial to themselves, we headed to another type of memorial.
See the
dedicated to
dance.
their war crimes. Welcome to
What the hell was that? I never noticed that.
One
He was
of the
driving.
brutal massacres
It's funny.
during the German occupation.
Oh, this one's really sad.
The World War II atrocities committed by the Nazi Party here in Crete. We're trying to honor
Behind the scenes on this episode, I actually had to do so much work to cut down the noise of the cicadas. It took a long, it looked like I edited the episode down and then watched it and I had to like, I physically couldn't listen to it beyond like a fifth of the volume of the
Yeah.
original clip because the cicadas were so freaking loud. So like if you notice, you can still hear them really
Oh,
loudly.
yeah, they're still loud.
But I EQ'd it, I filtered it, I did a ton of different stuff to the audio just to take it down from the original level. But if it was in this clip as the original level, no one would be able to listen to it. Like blow out your speakers, blow out your eardrums if you listen with headphones.
That was horrible.
Ooh.
Oh.
So we're here at the site of the Kandamari massacre here in Crete. Very windy and bright. Sorry this lighting looks so weird, but
Huge spot on you.
it's not a laughing
Burning
matter.
through your chest.
I'll
Yeah.
explain what happened here now through video.
On June 2nd, 1941, only a few weeks after the Battle of Crete had begun,
So there's just more history
troopers surrounded the Queen.
beyond. I'm sorry I'm talking so
A
much.
few
I
days
just
earlier,
researched all
police had
this.
discovered a few
Uh,
bodies of German soldiers
A little
on
history
the
beyond
road.
this. This is just
Placed
one of
the
the
blame
towns
on
in
inhabitants
Greece,
of
and
Kandamari.
in specifically
On June
Crete, that
2nd,
was
men and women from
raised.
Kandamari
They
were
call it
forced
the
to gather in the
raising
village
of
square.
Kandamari.
At that point, the women and
Because
children
the
were released, and a number of
after
hostages
these
were
massacres and
released.
whatnot, the Nazis would
Peers.
completely destroy
Villagers were
towns
led by the troopers to
and then
evacuate
leave
all
signs
of them.
up saying, I can't remember exactly what they said, but something along the
exact
lines
number
of,
victims is unknown, but it is
this
thought
is
to
where
be
this
close to
village
60.
stood that
The
opposed the
massacres became
regime,
infamous due to the
and
fact that
there will
German war
nothing will ever
propaganda
grow on this ground
correspondents there
again.
and captured
It's
the entire
basically
massacre
like
filmed through
It's like a curse.
Yeah, like a curse that they tried to put on the village. And in some of these villages, they still have those signs like replicated, which is I really wanted to visit this one memorial that actually contains the bones of some of the victims in the base of the memorial, like skulls, like human arm bones and stuff like that. Like they have the stone obelisk and then underneath like actual skulls, which is like to me unbelievably striking as a memorial. But it was on like the far southeast side of, or southwest side of Crete, which is, Crete's a huge island. So obviously we couldn't go visit, but this was one that was close that obviously had a lot of significance.
People were tortured. This was a really bad time. And this is just one specific example that's gotten famous because of the photos of it happening. But very haunting to be here. They've done a really nice job with the memorial, but
Sorry.
some of this energy.
I'm allergic to you.
I just like to make a joke like this is a sneeze button.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you're about to say?
Yeah.
You know, with a little sign, it's kind of sad. Because, you know, people that come here for vacations, they don't really know the truth of the island around.
Yeah, those cicadas are so loud. And they're flying everywhere.
Oh yeah, I caught that shot of that one flying right at Mary and Jeff. Remember when you chucked that rock at me?
It was an acorn.
No, it was a rock.
It was an acorn.
No, it was a rock.
No, it was a little
What do you guys think
like
about the memorial?
tree ball thing.
Oh
Bug replay.
His delayed reaction, it like flies at him and then he goes for it.
Like people would actually do that? You know? Tragic.
Our final stop of the day was back.
Yeah, but you threw a rock and it almost hit the camera. Well, an acorn, but it was hard.
Acorn.
It literally almost directly hit the lens of the camera. That footage didn't make it into the cut, but it's still there in the footage. Once again, the Starbucks too.
That was so fun.
Yeah, that was a really cool place. We had the Euros.
Yeah.
Walked around that one night.
Oh my god, you put this in the video?
We've officially found an evil eye penis.
Colin!
That's what we should get for Maxing.
We actually did. We did end up buying it.
He didn't love it, it's still at our
Yeah,
apartment.
it's still in our apartment, man.
As
Both
you
of them
look back
are.
into the maze of shops and
But we
buildings
bought
of
one for
Chania,
ourselves.
You begin to see the influence of the past Jewish population. During the German occupation of Crete, the Gestapo rounded up almost all of the Jewish people living on the island and herded them onto a cargo ship bound for Auschwitz. In a bizarre twist of fate, a British submarine mistook the cargo ship for a German military vessel and launched torpedoes at the ship, striking it twice. In doing so, the British sunk the ship and mistakenly drowned nearly all of the island's ancient Jewish population, who had existed there uninterruptedly for over 2,300
My sniffles are probably so loud on this microphone.
Chania, however you truly pronounce the word in Greek.
These people that
after
came
World War
to.
II, obviously,
Yeah.
Jewish population
So we were down
Crete
here
was ravaged.
at the end of this alleyway filming this monologue, and people thought that since we were going down there, there was some kind of like tourist thing down there. And so this whole family, you could just see them, they like came up behind us and then walked all the way down to the end of the empty alleyway and like pretended to look at stuff, or like looked at a dumpster
Anyways,
and looked at like
World War II, obviously, a lot of
some
the
like
synagogues that were once,
old fountain thing on the wall, and they're like,
frequented by the Jewish
and then just turn around and walked away, and we're like, we're down here trying to find somewhere quiet to film, and they like
But here in
thought it was
Crete,
some
on the coast,
cool
there is
thing.
one
Yeah.
surviving synagogue.
Like,
that
dude, there's
made it
nothing back
through
there.
those dark times. Now, Peter
Hi,
and I
buddy.
went
Well, I mean,
inside,
because every
but I just
place
wanted to
in
bring you
Chania,
here to show you this last
there's so many
final
people,
remaining piece
because
of
everything
Jewish
is like a
culture.
tourist attraction for the most part. There's so much history, and we like found that one corner that had nothing in it, just like old bikes you can see right there,
Yeah.
and like it was just closed buildings.
One of the biggest,
So nothing down there, and they're like pretending to look at stuff.
a lot of people
Like,
didn't know that Greece had such
And
a
not only
power.
did one group
And
come,
this
there was
is
like
the
multiple
Yeah.
groups, so we had to just cut filming and like let them
Sit
pass.
there and be like,
In this
Like,
post-
dude.
World War II
Nothing there.
era, there's less than 2 dozen Jewish people still living here on Crete, which is just absolutely insane. So let's check it out.
The Etz Chaim synagogue was founded in the 17th century and was an important center for the Jewish population on Crete in its time. It is currently the only surviving Jewish monument
Colin.
and is home to the only
I'm
surviving
dying.
ceremony
I know.
in all of Greece. The courtyard lie there made of 4 prominent rabbis that once called the synagogue.
That place was really
They
cool.
each rested over there in the center of the community that they had worked so hard to build. After
Crazy that
World War
those
II, the synagogue was
burials are just right there.
Decades after Crete's Jewish community was destroyed, the building sat dormant and empty and was desecrated. The synagogue was used as a den, a urinal, and even a kennel at times, and was filled with dead animals, waste, and broken glass. However, in 1996, a man by the name of Nicholas Stavroulakis took on the project of restoring the synagogue and converting it into the last functioning synagogue in all of Crete.
I love that shot of
But why
the
did he feel the need to restore the building?
Star of David
He
in
held
the
out to me, he said.
doorway in the sunlight.
It had become a monument to the victory of Hitler and the Nazis. Not only had the Jews all been killed, but their very history was being erased. To my mind, it had to be saved at all costs. This shows how important the building was
Probably
and
has to
still
go to
is,
the bathroom.
and how badly it needs to be preserved for future generations. After visiting the synagogue, we decided to stop by a grocery
Do you guys
store
know
on
what
the
that
outside.
fruit was that I just filmed, by the way?
And of course, to grab a couple
Peyton, you want to lay that trivia on him?
I don't know if it's actually one.
It looked like it. The Eskrog.
Yeah. Let me look, because I know it's just a citron.
But that really looked like,
Yeah, it did. A big one.
yeah, a big boy.
Let me
It's
see.
basically a fruit considered sacred in Jewish culture. We learned about it in our Jewish folklore class with Itzik at UT, who was in our Dybbuk box video.
Watermelon cider.
I'm trying to get us to get like
Etrog.
Etrog. They call it Eskrog.
Yeah. Definitely was, though. But that was a big boy.
Yeah, and they looked really nice because they want it to be aesthetically pleasing, like a really nice fruit, and that one was like really nice. The cookies,
Yeah, what was it? Sour cream cookie.
sour cream cookie.
Watching the sunset
Uh-oh.
meant that it was finally time to get spooky.
I mean, that is beautiful.
Paranormal activity. It was time to visit a place that I felt
The
was
sun like
extremely active
blow out some of the color.
A long abandoned Nazi bunker in the mountains.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Just
Put
noticed
this into
that.
perspective, I have to include that only a few weeks before we filmed this video, Crete saw one of its first high-profile murders in years. An American scientist was abducted and murdered in broad daylight, and her body was left in an abandoned Nazi bunker. While researching the bunker that I wanted to check out that night, I couldn't find any information in any of the news articles that stated which Nazi bunker the scientist's body had been found in. So we had no idea.
It took so long to figure out how to do that. Little fade to the highlight.
But at the time we still
Like
had
that.
no idea. In addition, Kokino Chiriya, the small village that the bunker sits outside of, is known as the Red Village because long before the Nazis invaded in 1821, more than 150
I didn't
Oh,
notice
no.
those people smiling in there.
were murdered by the Ottoman Turks in the area. That night, we arrived high atop the mountain at the old church that sits near the bunker's entrance, explored the building, and then headed back
This
to
is
the
creepy.
dark caves to begin our investigation.
Yeah. So like the whole part of these episodes that people online don't get to see is like the amount of effort that it takes to get to some of these locations. For example, Peyton didn't come with, but when Jeff and I did the abandoned sanatorium and the Develis Cave on top of Mount Parnitha and then Mount Develis, it took like an hour just to get there, literally driving out of Athens when we were in Athens, and you drive out of the city and then you get to these mountain roads and you got like 30 minutes just going up the mountain. There's no one up there. I mean, like, you don't see any cars, you don't see anybody. And then in the case of Develis Cave, you had to turn off onto this super sketchy gravel road on the side of the road.
That's why I didn't go.
Literally on the side of your car, there's like a 1,000 foot drop off. Like, I'm talking like this far. And Jeff almost had a mental breakdown. He was like about to start crying, like, I'm not gonna kill my I'm not gonna kill my son just for a video. I'm like, dude, we're okay. Don't worry. We're already in here. We're this far.
I lost it. It's so scary.
I mean, but I didn't know that it was gonna be like that. I'm just like, there's no way to find out that stuff until you're physically there. And then you're like, okay, I'm here, so what am I gonna do? Back out now? No. Might as well just try to do this as safely as possible.
That jar of Pee?
No, it had to be
Question mark?
oil. I'm assuming. It looks like oil, the way that it's still like wet looking. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I mean, no one goes to this church, so.
Wildlife. A gecko. Wildlife.
And then, but I mean, in this case, this was also really far up the
It's like
mountain.
ASMR. Sorry.
I don't know it is.
Look at these mountains.
Well, we didn't know if anyone's up there, so it's like,
Oh, sorry. What were you saying? I wanted to get my joke in.
no, good. Yeah, it was a good joke, good meme, quality.
The ghosts of the German war
I was just saying,
Nazis that had been left behind.
I mean, to be there at that bunker, you're literally way up there.
Yeah.
And like you're going up the mountain paths, up through some brush on like a dirt road, and then you finally get there. And the mountain was big. Like you
Yeah,
can
it
see in
was
the
really big.
daytime footage, it was like that was definitely one of the most eerie sights. Just rolling up to it and seeing like, oh shit, we're actually about to go into that mountain, and we don't have protection at all. We had Jeff's selfie stick.
Yep. That he brought.
Yep.
Unironically to beat someone with. It's like an aluminum rod.
Oh, that would do nothing.
Get back! Get back!
You like hit them once with it, it would just like shatter.
Yeah, just break.
And then you'd have like a
People who were forced
Angry
pointed
guy.
stabby staff.
Yeah, so these were basically locals who were.
You look so scared.
Yeah.
on this.
I mean, we were tweaked.
It was scary.
I mean, you got the murder that just happened. You're up there in the middle of nowhere in a foreign country on a
Literally.
freaking mountain, just like the other videos. You don't have any sort of protection. Obviously, we don't believe in like guns and weapons like that. So, and it's also a way higher, charge if you ever get caught. with the
Yeah, you can't bring
freaking-
a damn gun to Greece.
Well, yeah, in Greece, it's like guns are illegal, so you can't have a gun. But I mean, in America, if you're somewhere that's like a park or something, you have a gun. Oh, there's a stick.
He's pointing with it.
And then comes the classic moment in the show. Ugh. God, that probably sounds disgusting to people online. It's Fife eating a bone. Bro.
God, that part was so creepy. And then you just turn around and go, run, go. And I thought you like saw someone, so I'm like,
Well, you gotta point out that I stated in there loud human breath.
yeah, it definitely was.
Like, look.
Hello?
And yeah, I put in there loud human breath, loud human growl, because in our minds it was probably someone in there, and that's
Yeah.
why we ran. We don't run from paranormal activity. If you're in a controlled environment, like a place you rented, and you hear something,
Yeah.
then you're golden to stay there. But like
Yeah.
in this case, you're in a freaking mountain in Greece. It's like, and there's a beer bottle right there.
Yeah.
So it's like all these factors in your mind. You're like, would I rather hear a voice on camera for our investigation or get murdered? Well, that didn't make sense.
No, that's okay.
And then Jeff sees this like shadow creature and starts just
It's like
running,
I saw something crawling on the ground.
which none of us saw, but he did.
It's still creepy. I'm like getting in the car.
Yeah, because I mean, you have no idea. Maybe it is like a dog that's in there or an animal.
We have Fife in here eating a huge bone. He likes it. It's
I
peanut
know, but
butter.
can he eat it out there?
No, because then he'll start
It's so
crying.
loud.
He likes to sit by me when he eats it.
Buddy.
Me cute.
I love him, but it's gonna be loud. Sorry, guys. Oh, Jesus.
This is a scary time. It's terrifying.
He looks like he's about to break down and cry.
Yeah, it was scary. And it was like so late at night, and that church is so creepy.
Yep. I mean, there's a chair sitting there. And people have been in the bunker, but it's like that's the other whole half of this thing that I've tried to grapple with, and we've talked about. Like, let's say it was someone up in this cave. A, why are they up there right now?
Yeah.
Like, it was very late at night, and like B, you have no food or water up there.
No.
So if
you're
someone's
so far from
living in there,
anything.
yeah, there's no way that you could actually be sustainably living in there.
No.
And then C, like, why? There's
There's no
such,
cars up there.
No.
Like, there's nothing.
and there's like no homeless population on Crete.
No.
So like it's just hard to imagine it being a homeless person living in there. So maybe it's someone up there for nefarious purposes, but like that's why it's like it seems like a human. The sound was a human, but like was it a human? And then right there,
That
there's
weird thing. What is that?
I don't know. There's that weird thing that everyone's pointed out in the comments.
It's creepy.
It's like it pans over to it. And it's like
I've never seen that before.
it's probably just a bag or something like that. But
Oh no.
what? Oh,
What?
the stick.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I can't say it.
What?
I can't say it.
Right there.
Yeah, when I walk up.
Oh. It's okay.
Embarrassing moment. Damn it. Ow. God, it's so creepy. That church, it's like, who goes there? And also, who goes there? You're like, ooh, that sound.
The most typical sounding squeaky gate.
Didn't someone comment that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like every horror movie gate ever.
Also, never got an explanation for this red bucket that's up there.
The bucket?
Mm-hmm.
No, remember the bucket?
I think I showed it. Coming up here. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's like a mop bucket. That's like it's really sun bleached. I don't think anyone's been in that church for like
A long
at
time.
least 5 years. That's a lot of sun bleaching for that bucket. It's been back there forever. And now there's just goats.
Sorry.
And then we saw like all those goats in the daytime behind it. Like I don't think anyone goes there anymore.
I think though, honestly, that's the most annoying critique that we receive is like, why'd you run from that? Because like, dude, you really expect us to value a video over our personal health and safety? I'm sorry, but no.
No.
Like,
It's like we didn't know what it was. It's not like we rented this place out. It's just like out in the woods. Like
and on
be
top,
anything.
and on top of that, it's just us.
like the selfie stick.
We don't have a production team. We don't have like the safety managers that they have on site for like ghost adventures and ghost hunters and stuff like that. We literally just have whoever's on camera in our videos with us. So, I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna value our health over just getting like an extra 2 minutes of footage.
Because I mean, like, who knows what would have happened if it would have stayed?
I mean, let's say there is someone in there. He's ready to go. He's ready to protect his like,
Cave.
yeah, cave. Like he could stab us. He could shank us. Just beat us. Like let's say it is a territorial person that's living there that does not speak English. Even though most people in Greece, once again, I've commented this to a lot of people online. Most people in Greece speak English because they're taught it at schools because it's such a highly visited place.
Well, they're in the EU.
Yeah, and they're in the EU, so
pretty sure they teach English as well. I don't know. I just know most people in the EU are like bilingual if you're like 40 or younger when they started teaching it.
Yep. Such a horrible sound.
It's like a huge bone, like this big. It's like this big around. It's just filled with peanut butter.
Next time we will make sure Feist's not present. Sorry guys, I love him, but I'm sure the audio's ruined.
I wanted to bring him.
Dude, shine at the ground for you. That's not right.
You know how big my shadow looks compared to Jeff's? He looks like Peter Pan
Oh my god.
flying over me.
Okay, let's just get out of here.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't go back in. It was too dark. We didn't know where it went or how long it was. There were all these rooms back in there, you know, like someone could be in. Like a lot of like blind corners, like it's just not. It was scary.
Yeah. And so like in addition, like something that I wanted to make this episode longer with the investigation bits, but after this drive we actually went about 35 minutes away
Oh, I
to
forgot
try.
about
Yeah,
that.
I really wanted to visit this memorial on Crete to these people that were massacred once again by the Nazis. I can't remember the exact name of the place because we visit so many places, but it's like a pole that they would tie these vigilantes, quote unquote, and rebels and like freedom fighters from Greece to, and then they would shoot them, and apparently hundreds, I think even over 1,000 people were slaughtered
What was
there.
that called? It was like Golgamash or something.
Golgoroth.
Golgoroth.
Golgoroth. It's from the Bible.
Yeah.
In addition,
I
can't believe I remembered that.
And yeah, good job.
Big.
And that's the area. They still to this day, it's like up in the woods, and they have the original. They have the original pole where the people were restrained and shot. It's still there, and then a big like area memorializing these people who died. Apparently, it's from some people that I talked to who live on Crete. That's one of the places that's really active. But I mean, you got no cell service out there, no maps. So we ended up trying to find it for like 2 hours, literally.
Impossible.
Yeah, and we just couldn't find it.
And it was like 3 in the morning.
Like we'd stop into these cafes nearby and ask people, "Hey, do you know where the Golgoroth, this place where people were shot, you know, massacred?" And they'd say, "Oh, it's down there to to the left. You got to go up this area." And then we'd follow those directions and couldn't find it. And then we'd stop in another cafe in that area. And finally, this one guy, remember the guy sitting outside, you guys were like, don't go ask him. But I'm like, just pull over and let me see. And I asked him, and he's like, oh, you go to the church down there, and then you just simply take a right. And we're like, okay, to the church, and you just
Right.
take a right. And he's like, yeah, and then you go a couple hundred yards, meters, and then you're there. And we're like, okay, sweet, we're finally almost there. And we find the church, we take the right, we're going down this road, and it's nowhere to be found.
No.
Yeah, and I was really sad because I really wanted to visit the place, tell the story of these people that had been killed. But,
Impossible to find, especially at night.
yeah.
You can't see anything. Oh, all the flies. I thought there was like a body in there because there were like hundreds of flies swarming around. It was so gross.
Yeah, there are.
And it smelled bad.
Really?
I love the Greeks though because they stay up so late. Like it was like 3 in the morning and there was still like a bunch of people walking around like eating dinner and stuff. It was
Yeah. Well, they don't eat dinner till like 10
Yeah.
midnight a lot of times.
Cool.
It's like cafes that we stopped at were like packed.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm so
We
tired.
thought that there's no way that someone could actually be visiting here because it's so high up, it's so isolated that you couldn't get food, you couldn't get water.
My hair looks really bright.
To go in. So last
Sun
time we
bleached.
did, so we're gonna go check it out and see how far we can make it.
Remember how we were in the sun for like hours every day. So tan. Already lost all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Pale again.
We're going to come in.
5.
Sounds like a wild pig is in the room with us,
Yeah, it does.
about to attack.
Or like a tiger, like eating the hell out of an animal, deer.
Right there, actually, if you look, that's the only place I could theorize someone was living, and I didn't want to mention it to everybody when we were exploring because it would have just freaked everyone out.
But those rooms,
Yeah, but that's the only area where I was thinking the person could have been that night.
yeah.
If there was a person making those noises, because it was like all this covered stuff and it looked almost like a bed in there. But
And it was still pitch black in here during the day.
yeah,
Like,
oh yeah. Not in this area right here because of the light coming in from that,
Yeah.
but like these areas,
pitch black.
yeah, there's no light. It's a cave.
And didn't someone comment and say that those are like the symbols of Zeus or something?
Yeah. The lightning bolt.
Is this like the lightning, like the SS?
And I thought it could have meant something to do with the Nazis, because we did, sadly, in one of the episodes from Athens, I pointed out all of the pro-Nazi graffiti that was
Yeah.
everywhere. Insane.
was
And
odd.
especially in Develis Cave that we visited, there was like Hail Hitler stuff, and like SS symbols, and like actual tons of swastikas, which is like, just, come on, dude. Stop. But you never know, because you don't know who the artist was, what they were painting for.
Not artist.
Well, I mean, like, no, I mean,
What?
with like these symbols here, like the
Oh,
lightning, like you don't know like who they were, like why they painted that
Yeah.
stuff. You can theorize all day. I mean, obviously with the actual Nazi stuff, you know,
Yeah.
but with this stuff, it's more open to interpretation.
It looks like nighttime. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So dark.
We're almost at the top.
I can't believe all this was made with like slave labor too.
Hello?
It's crazy.
The locals.
Mm-hmm.
You can never escape the bats too.
No.
Me nowadays, I'm not really too afraid of the bats. I
That's
mean,
good.
it's still freaky, but it's like,
Oh, there they are.
yeah, like right there when it flies at you.
You're still afraid of bats.
Okay, well,
You're
yeah.
looking right there like, oh God, go the other way. And there's like 2 little baby bats.
The bunker's
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a bat literally flying at your head. You just screamed at something right there, too.
forced to create these
Oh, great shot.
What? That was definitely not a butt shot. That was too close to be a butt shot. I was just walking and something was happening.
Vertebrae. Vertebra.
So we gotta go up those other stairs.
Something I don't know. Where's he going?
You ready to come down here, buddy?
Where am I gonna find that? Oh, is that not an exit?
So you enjoy this?
When do we go up to the other place?
That's the next set of stairs.
Those noises?
Oh, I forgot there were 2.
Yep.
Obviously no one that's been living here.
Jeff's literally like, you see, I don't have that reaction.
Whoa!
It's more like, oh, dude, like, freaking any type of animals like flying at you, even if it's a bird, like, you don't want to just, you really tell me you're just gonna stand there and be
Stand
like,
my ground.
yeah, I'm sure, babe. You're gonna just sit there and it's gonna fly, and you're gonna be like,
It'd suck if you fell down that hole.
yeah, I know.
So here's the main bunker that we're approaching right now. Wow. This is crazy.
Back to the cicadas.
These are genuine
I had to edit the
Nazi
footage,
bunkers.
yeah.
So loud.
So,
See those bugs like
Yes.
fly by?
This is where-
Whatever.
So many
Oh,
bugs,
look at them.
dude.
set up
There were so many bugs in Greece.
Pointing out this way,
Mm-hmm.
and their weapons. You can see the beach over there and all these villages. So it had a really good.
God, it feels like
vantage
Greece was
point
forever
where they could mow
ago.
down
I
troopers.
can't remember it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I hardly can either.
Where? Down there. Oh.
Do people have like super good memories and can remember stuff well? Because I've never been like that.
Yeah, photographic memories.
I don't mean like that. I just mean like if I had to recall every day on Greece in chronological order, I definitely could not.
Uh-huh.
Could normal people do that?
Crazy, isn't it?
I mean, I could probably remember day by day what we did if I actually sat down and was like,
Yeah, I mean like if I asked you right now.
yeah. I mean, that, yeah, but I can't remember a lot more, you know? Like, I could just remember a basic. And you probably could too if we just sat down together and were like,
Need to brainstorm.
What do we do? This.
Right here, hidden in the mountains of Crete,
It was so cool.
is an old.
Because, like, you can remember, like, Big Bend, what we
You
did.
can just imagine
Yeah.
people right there sticking their guns out.
Arkansas,
You
though,
can imagine their spirits still being here, and the people
yeah.
fighting away.
I hope that we can't not remember stuff that we did like a year ago like, and filmed and released on the internet.
What about Pennsylvania?
Oh, easy.
Look at this.
Easy peasy, lemon sneezy, lemon squeezy.
What about England? Dude, it feels like we're there for like a month.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's been a long year for us, dude. Wow. Can't believe we did it.
I know.
Congrats.
A little bit of exercise.
I do wonder what that symbol means.
Did anyone clarify what that symbol was?
The Germans did use the light.
I don't think so.
That was really loud.
Oh, five.
It's kind of hot in there.
Five.
Stairs, we're going back down.
The spider. I'm wired. Oh no. No. It was like the nasty cave cricket.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it a cricket spider?
It's actually a cricket.
but what
not
it's
a
called?
spider. It's like a, yeah, cricket spider thing. But they jump, right? Is it facing you? Is it facing away?
I think it was facing away, luckily.
Because didn't we read that they jump on people?
They jump like when they feel threatened and
They,
stuff.
yeah, they jump towards the threat.
And they can jump far and they bite too.
Yeah.
If you cannot tell, my family, we're always trying to pull one on each other. And Peyton and I, a lot of the time.
What? Okay, so now that we're here in the cave, we've explored the whole complex of the top
How's
of
this
the
little light thing?
up to the
Oh no.
We're gonna turn off the camera, or we're gonna turn off the light.
Turn off the camera.
Okay, now we're here. Goodbye.
Because we did hear that voice last night, and that was like crazy. So.
Also, I just want to point this out to all you guys on Patreon. Also, a lot of times on these investigations, we will use different equipment. Like we'll use a spirit box, we'll use the paranormal puck, but yeah, we just don't get anything. And people, will criticize and say, "Oh, why aren't you using equipment and stuff?" It's 50-50. Half the time we don't get stuff, and we also just don't really believe in a lot of the stuff that mainstream people use. It's always interesting to use it to see what kind of stuff we can get.
Yeah.
Obviously, but
We usually don't.
yeah, just naturally, the more you use this stuff and you start to kind of see patterns and stuff like that, it's like, and we've gotten plenty of interesting responses, and I'm not completely saying that obviously it's not valid, but it's more when you get that stuff to consider, like, oh, maybe there is something here, rather than like, oh, this is a ghost talking to me now. Because that's what a lot of people think. We got some really big debunks coming up soon, too.
That we do.
Fife, buddy. Hey, hey.
He's really.
I know, he's breathing so loud.
He's a snorty little guy.
Well, we investigated for a few minutes. Literally zero activity, but it is sweltering hot and we're all sweating. We've got to be in another location.
Oh, I forgot how hot this was.
But yeah, we got to see the bunker.
Hundreds.
It was so
And that
hot.
voice will still resonate because that was crazy. And now we know that.
Crazy.
Athens was the worst, though, for the heat.
It was like an oven.
Gnarly, dude. Reminds me of another foreign country I filmed in, but...
Are you gonna do something with that?
Yes.
So now we're finished with
Oh, this audio.
This audio is the worst, dude.
and visiting these locations from the Battle of Crete and
This is the worst audio ever.
Yeah.
crimes that were carried out here on the island.
I mean,
And
like...
then we were in like a stone room.
Probably military.
It was just an extra.
There's jets.
Yeah.
Flying above.
Literally jets, bugs.
That's one of my favorite drone shots I've ever gotten, though.
It's a nice shot.
That's good.
This audio.
India, South Africa, Canada.
Yeah, a lot of places all around the world. And it is smoking hot.
God, it was so hot.
Smoking.
Forgot. It was like 102.
And hopefully
There's me.
history here about
It's kind of funny if you look at a lot of the drone shots that we get in the show. If you look very closely, you can see Peyton and I standing somewhere.
We're like,
Because the golden rule is to never lose physical sight of your drone, especially after this mountain incident I was talking about earlier when the wind almost took the drone. So yeah, little Easter eggs. Go try and find Peyton and I
yeah.
in the
Yes, we do this
shots.
for the thrill, for the love of investigating the paranormal, and for the research. But at the end of the day, I want to help people. And I want to keep history alive and in the forefront of people's minds. This subject reminds me of a discussion that I had with a girl at a party about a year ago.
You always
After
say
learning that I was
that.
a paranormal
She has no idea she's used in like
focus on the negative history,
so
I tried
many
to explain to her
examples.
why we cannot simply ignore the brutal history
Yeah,
of
but
the
this
world.
is the only one
People
that we've
determined
used
to
for the
tell me
show.
that was wrong,
Yeah.
and that with
In
the
life,
show, we
though,
only focus
I
on
will
the
use that
evidence
example
that
because
mankind has seen. Yes,
you
that's
want
a
to
good
piss me
practice
off,
and
talk to me
possible, but
about
we can't just forget
history
the
and something that I
tragedies.
work
We
with
definitely cannot
every single day in my
ignore it.
life
There's a beauty in the pain,
and
a sense
care
of
about.
reconciliation that comes along
And, like,
with
those
every
shots I
little
got.
atrocities
Mhm.
of putting this history to video.
Once
The biggest
again,
thing is that we cannot forget these
I wanted
struggles
to try to
of
get
those
all the
that died
countries.
in the Allied cemetery. There were so many graves of soldiers buried.
And all of those are
with
just
memorials to
unknown.
people lost their
Crazy,
time
though,
without
you know?
fighting
It's so
because
sad.
life was the good fight. No matter how
Fight for this
history
big
is,
war
there is
and-
always light to be found. Even
No
cemeteries
one
that
knows
are
your
large
name.
memorials to death and the end of life are beautiful. It's for those reasons that we continue to make these videos and share the history with you guys online. We simply cannot forget what has happened before us. We must remember the tragic past and ensure that these tragedies.
That was a really nice cemetery, though. It was like honestly one of the best kept cemeteries I've ever been in. What? What?
I love how that music played out on that
God.
drone shot. I'm so proud of that. Well, sometimes when I'm editing, I'm like, dude, I really did it right here. Like, I feel really proud of the way that, like, the music pulls out the emotion. Because at the end of the day, I started editing and making movies as, like, a series filmmaker. So, and I love movies and cinema. So, like, if I can bring that cinematic look and feel into, like, this paranormal element in this paranormal world, that's what I'm happy doing.
What was the one that came after that?
Don't touch your hair.
Okay.
What was the next
I
one?
don't know. We got like
You
the
can
next
see right
one's
here.
extra freaky.
The next one was Jeff and I
Yeah.
at Parnitha,
Yeah.
which was terrifying. And we've had a lot of people online comment to us, oh, you're lucky that you didn't see anybody up there because it's really sketchy and there's a lot of sketchy characters up there. And I actually had read that online,
Yikes.
that there's like drug deals that go down and blah blah, but like, you know what, you gotta take all that stuff with a grain of salt, because the abandoned zoo in Austin, online there's some article that talks about how you gotta be really careful when you go out there, because like there's crackheads that will shank you, like
Yeah.
literally it says that online. But obviously that has never happened, and the abandoned zoo is literally just a barn.
That lives in it.
Yeah, nice guy. But well, guys, hope you enjoyed watching our episode with us. We're the ones who created it, and we're really glad that you guys enjoy watching all the videos, because it takes a lot of work, there's a lot of time, but at the end of the day, it's what we love to do. So
Yes.
it's gotten, his bone munching has gotten louder and louder and louder.
Oh my god. Wow.
Crazy.
That was our first commentary video.
Yep, we got plenty more coming for you guys. But yeah, we're gonna head out. I got more work to do tonight on the channel. So oh my god, dude. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Bless you.
So from here in Austin, it's Colin here.
And Peyton.
Thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay spooky.